Community Viewpoint.
And welcome once again to another segment of Community Viewpoint. I'm John Pawlak, your host for this segment, and I'd like to take some time today to welcome Amy Bruno, our new reference librarian at our library, the Pahrump Community Library. Amy, welcome to Pahrump and welcome to the show. And you've got a lot to talk about at our library. There's some changes, some that you've just initiated also. So would you like to tell us what you've done in reference that's new and exciting?
Well, I think it's exciting, but it might not be exciting to everybody. We have every copy ever of the Pahrump Valley Times, ever, in book form, in morgue book form. It looks like this. I know, not that impressive, but it really is. Because you can look up any date of anything that was ever published in the Pahrump Valley Times. This one's my daughter's birthday, which is kind of fun. But you can also look up current events, past events, morgue stuff. That's what these are called. These are called morgues. Every time you take a newspaper book or a newspaper and you bind it into a book and you make a collection of newspapers, it's called a newspaper morgue. So these are called morgue books.
So you've gone and had some, you spoke to the editor of the Pahrump Valley Times, I believe?
I did.
And these were originally stacked away someplace in Vegas?
Yes, before they moved, before Pahrump Valley Times building moved, they had all the storage room in the world and they had these books there and you could consult them. When they moved, they didn't have room for them anymore. They lost a lot of space. And so these books got put into storage and then they were very hard for people to access. So a lovely woman called me and she was building a memorial for her daughter. And she wanted the newspaper story of her daughter's birth. And Pahrump Valley Times very graciously allowed me to copy it from their morgue books. And while I had them on the line, I convinced them that we would be an excellent place to store them. And then they made a further offer. So in the next few months, we will have every issue of the Tonopah Times and every issue of the Mirror also in Pahrump Valley Library. Not in newspaper form like this, which is how we mostly have them, but in book morgue form like this.
Oh, these will be like that?
Yep.
These are like that?
Yes.
Okay, then the Mirror used to be the Death Valley Gazette, and
we have that too.
And there was a couple other names before that, and that escapes me because I've been here for a long time. But yeah, so these will all be accessible, not to take home or anything.
Right, accessible but not available, and that's the biggest thing. These you can look at in the library. We can make copies of these for you, but you can't take them home. In fact, I get nervous if they go more than about 20 feet from my desk.
Yeah.
So we'll ask you for a copy of your library card, we'll hold it at the reference desk, and we will let you take it to the table by the reference desk, and we will let you look. And we are working on, but do not have yet, a very fancy scanner, which will let us scan not only these, so that they would be digitally available. That's what we're working on. So not only these, but we have a lot of other local history books that are published locally and are limited edition, and they're very hard to get. For example, there's a series of, I guess, interviews that have been transcribed into books, and there's a local couple that did that maybe 30 years ago, and they're available in books in the library. There are some that you can check out now, but we would like to make those digitally available for everybody, and because they don't have a copyright on them, that's possible to do. So we're really hoping that we get to do that, and to further that, the effort of it, really working on some grants for it that I hope we get. So, because then the local history books, the ones that were vanity published, the ones that weren't conventionally published, we can have a digital copy of them in the library, and that would be fantastic.
And you could come and see all this more, do I want to say? Well, your hours,
Yes.
hours are increasing.
Well, I didn't do this, the board did, but really cool. Now the library's open at 9 o'clock in the morning, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, instead of 10, so we're opening an hour earlier. It gives people a little more time. It means the computers are open and the Wi-Fi is open and all that stuff an hour earlier. And there are, of course, librarians there to help you an hour earlier. We're closing at the same time. We close at 6 o'clock Monday through Thursday, and we're going to be open 10 to 5 Friday and Saturday, so that's not changing. But Monday through Thursday, 9 to 6, those are our hours now. And to accommodate that, there's been a few other changes. Most people don't even realize this, but the computers and the Wi-Fi shut down half an hour before the library closes. Because of the extra hours and to sort of make some man-hour reasonable decisions, the reference desk shuts half an hour early. So if you need something notarized or you need something photocopied or faxed or whatever, you really need to come in before we close because on your typical day at 5:30, we're not going to be doing that anymore.
Oh, interesting. So a lot of changes over there. So you're at 701 East Street, which is you're next to your neighbors to the quiet people, Chief Tecopos Cemetery.
Yeah, to the Chief Tecopos Cemetery. People say a lot of times that we're behind Walmart, but I'm new here, and everyone says everything is behind Walmart. It's very strange to me. I can't find anything based on that. But we are quite near the school district, and I sort of think that if you just turn at the bank, you're right there to the post office.
They'll find you better if you
or
tell
to the
them
library.
You're across the street from Irene's.
Oh, I don't know.
Yes. Well, you'll know after you've been here a little bit longer. So you've got a lot of things that are happening over there. You have how many stations for the internet? About 10,
okay. Well,
12?
oh my, no. 26.
Oh. I'm off. Yeah, okay. So,
and
in the room also.
Yes, in the lab. And then we also are about to have new thin clients, so that will look like new computers to everybody. It's not exactly what a thin client is, but it's the functional equivalent. And I'm a techie librarian. That's my thing. So new computers run off a new server and much faster. Give me a couple of weeks to get them all up and running. I think you're going to like the new graphics cards in the new thin clients. I'm really hoping that this winter we'll be able to have teen gaming days in that lab in the library. That's what we're shooting for.
Well, you may be overrun with teens.
I can Minecraft with the best of them. And by the way, my favorite game is Five Nights at Freddy's.
I don't know those type of things, but that's fine. And you write over what type of not clients, but what type of books in the main library over there?
Nonfiction and reference.
And you have a Southwest
we
edition
have
that's huge.
Arguably, because it's kind of hard to measure, but we have arguably the largest Nevada and Southwest collection anywhere, but definitely in the state. We're larger by several hundred volumes than UNLV, which is pretty impressive.
Oh, it is, my goodness. And you've got library cards for people who want to come there to take books out. And how much money does it cost for a library?
It's absolutely free for a library card. If you have to replace your library card because you lost it, that's $1.
It's $1, yeah.
But other than that, it's absolutely free to get a library card. All you need is ID and proof of address, and we're pretty lenient in the proof of address. Mail yourself a postcard, bring it in. That'll work for us. But we really want people to come in and get their library cards. We want them to know that there are thousands of movies in there. There are audiobooks. There are regular books. It's not just about books, though. There's story times and concerts, and we just had a guy playing the accordion. I think he's coming back in August. You'll have to look at the library website and see exactly what day, but he was amazing. He did polka and all kinds of fun stuff. It was really great.
Oh, really?
Really well attended, too. I was kind of surprised. I wasn't surprised that he was any good because he seemed like he was, but I was surprised by how many people were there.
Yeah, and you have different groups that come over there that use the meeting rooms over there, poetry. You have
Legos. We have Legos. We have a Lego group for kids, but we also have a Lego group for all ages and adults, and the Legos are provided, and adults can come and build with Legos, and it is so cool.
Oh my God. So anything else that goes on over there? Oh, you've got that, the train club that...
Yep, 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, if you haven't seen these guys.
Miniature trains. Bring your
Yes.
kids, it's free. It's
Yeah, they're
really cool.
HO scale, and they put them together in pieces. They bring their own little section over there, and
They take up our whole back room.
right, and they all set it up. They're there for a day and a half, and then they all take it down. They're retired and they love it, and I'm an HO train enthusiast, so I can appreciate that. So.
We also have some other really cool things. I call them the Bob books, but we have a guy named Prospector Bob who takes great pictures and tells great stories. He's a sort of a local journalist, and we have, you don't know about the Bob books. Next time you come
Not
in,
Bob
John,
McCracken.
I'm not going to say Bob's last name, but he calls himself Prospector Bob, and he comes in and with new stories and new pictures. A couple weeks ago, great pictures of baby burros that he took, and he suggests local fun things to do. And as somebody new here, they have been great advice, and I've done some really fun things because of that.
Oh, great. Lots of things to do at your public library. It's air conditioned, and it's very comfortable. And you have wonderful people like Amy, Susan. Who else are we talking about?
Well, we have some new employees. So we have a new children's librarian who you had on your show. Her name's Alicia.
Yes.
Reference has 2 new people in it because Justice left. He moved to Hawaii, and that is so amazing. He's doing great. But we have 2 new employees. So Carol and Sean are the 2 new reference librarians, reference techs at the reference desk, and they can help you just the same as you were helped before, I promise.
Okay, so come in and meet everybody. And just like you've just met Amy. So we're in our last minute, and if I just could take a few seconds to talk about the people that I work for. This is the Nye Communities Coalition. We will be having another job fair on Friday, August the 11th from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. We're at 1020 East Wilson Road, and we're behind Walmart. And so come on down there. We'll have the employers for you, the employees. So there's jobs to be had. So please dress appropriately. If you have resumes, bring them. And we hope to see you there. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
And we'll be seeing you next week. And thank you, Noah.
Community Viewpoint.